Today, I stand before you as Caesar.
As if there wasn't enough hype about last week's start of sports betting in Arizona, actor and comedian J.B. Smoove asks you to render unto Caesar Sportsbook your bets on the D-backs, Cardinals, Suns, and Coyotes. Caesars is a betting partner of the D-backs, by the way. So what does this new era of legalized gambling on sports in Arizona mean for all the players and for the folks who will never place a bet? Joining us is the Arizona Republic's Ryan Randazzo. He's covered the birth of sports betting here in Arizona from the very start. Welcome back to Square Off.
Thank you.
So give us the short story. Why is sports betting happening now in Arizona?
Well, it's really happening across the country. We have 26 states plus Washington, D.C., really unleashing sports betting since a Supreme Court decision in 2018. This is something that people have really been craving. There's a lot of pressure from people who enjoy sports and betting on sports to get the legislature to pass this. It's been kicked around for a couple of years, and they finally came to an agreement this year with Arizona's tribes, who usually have exclusive purview over gambling in the state.
What strikes me is, while I sit here talking to you, I can place a bet on today's Arizona Cardinals game on my mobile phone. Is it really that easy, and can I bet on anything beyond sports?
It really is that easy in Arizona, and it's not that way across the country. So other states will require you to step foot inside the physical sports book to ensure your age and to sign up. Arizona has really streamlined this. So you never need to go into a sports book to place a bet. You can register online. You can fund your account. If your credit card company will let you, you can even fund your account with a credit card and begin placing bets. And you can place bets on things happening around the world. So besides the major sports in the United States, I guess if you're having a slow day, you could log on and bet on a ping pong match or a darts tournament in another country.
You just put up a red flag for parents. Other states verify your age. What's to prevent, say, my teenage son or daughter from going online and going wild on sports betting?
Well, they do verify your age in Arizona, but they do it through the app rather than in person. So it's just a lower hurdle. It's possible that someone under 18 could place a bet, but they would have to have access to somebody's credit card to do that, because or a bank account, because your age is verified that way.
All right. Now, each of Arizona's major sports teams have partnered with one of these so-called sports books, and tribal casinos have as well. Last week, Governor Ducey was at the openings of two of these sports books, I think, which are really akin to what we used to call betting parlors. If so much of the betting today is mobile, why do they even need these kind of retail outlets inside team stadiums or arenas?
Part of it is marketing, just to raise awareness, just to remind people that they can gamble if they like. And the other part is really to help the newbies, the folks who have maybe placed a sports bet in Nevada in the past, but are unsure of how to use the apps because they get that person-to-person contact, sort of the same reason Apple does have Apple stores. So you can go in and ask somebody how to use the device, and Best Buy also has folks on staff to sort of walk you through the technology. The physical in-person sports books are going to play that role.
So let's get to the money. Governor Doug Ducey signed a massive tax cut into law back in June, up to $2 billion in permanent cuts. He's counting on new revenue from sports gambling, from marijuana sales, from online purchases to help make up for the lost tax revenue. So how much state revenue is sports betting projected to deliver?
Not a lot. I mean, not billions. Arizonans are expected to wager billions of dollars, and the sports books are expected to earn hundreds of millions in revenue. But the state tax collections, the estimates that we have from experts at the state, from experts across the country who analyze sports gambling in other states, the estimates range from like $11 million, maybe $20 million. The highest estimate I've seen is $60 million. And the math on that one, I will say, seems a little bit outside the mainstream. So on a state budget of more than 12 billion, getting some tax revenue that's 20 million, that's nice, but it is not going to fill any major holes in the state budget.
What about the team owners? They've all hooked up with a sports book. How will they make out?
Well, the best estimates are that there'll be more than $200 million a year in revenue to the sports books. And if there's 20 books, then, that's nice. That could be, $10 million or so. Some are going to do a lot better because some of these names are much better known in the sports betting industry. So DraftKings, FanDuel, MGM, Caesars, these are names a lot of folks know. And then there's some that are probably not going to get as big a slice of the pie. What we do not know is the division. So each of these sports books, say DraftKings, partners with a professional team or a tribe, and we don't really know how much money the Arizona tribes are getting and how much is going to these sports books, which are all based out of state. They're based in Las Vegas and Chicago and New Jersey. So there's definitely money. It's definitely going to help the tribes and the teams. It's really difficult to say how much because we don't know the nature of these contracts with the sports books.
And I know a lot of folks are concerned about gambling addiction. This is a new kind of gambling. It is certainly much, much easier than any kind of gambling we have right now. What are the state, the teams, the sports books, the tribes doing to help folks who get addicted?
Well, they're required in all their advertising and in the physical sports books, just like you see in Nevada, to remind people that if they have a gambling problem or if they're, someone in their family or a friend or a coworker has a gambling problem, that there is free help for those people out there. So all the advertising is going to have that message. It's going to be in a much smaller font than the specials they're running that week. And there's also a self-exclusion list where people can place themselves on this list, and then the online sports books cannot take bets from them. The tribal casinos already have this. It's a little easier to implement, though, with an online sports book because they know who you are. They have to know who you are and where you are before you can place a bet from your phone or your laptop. So it should be easier for people to exclude themselves. If someone who has excluded themselves places a bet and wins, the sports books are prohibited from paying them out, and they have to donate that money. So people that recognize they have a problem and place themselves on that list, that's the only way you can get on that list, should be barred from placing bets.
Is Arizona doing as much as other states when it comes to helping with treatment, aside from warnings, but actually helping with treatment?
That would be a great thing to investigate now that we are letting people gamble from their living rooms. This really has expanded the gambling universe in Arizona. Prior to this, we had horse tracks, the tribal casinos, obviously, and the state lottery. This is a huge sea change to allow people to wager on sports from their home, without going to a specific location. And we have new mobile games from the state lottery that were authorized through this legislation as well. So it's going to be interesting to compare now what Arizona does for people, that percentage of the population that has a gambling addiction, compared to other states like New Jersey and Nevada that really have wide open gambling.
Okay, and before we leave you, I want to give folks a number they can call. If you or someone know someone who needs help with gambling addiction, text NEXT STEP to 53342 or call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. Ryan Randazzo, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.